So earlier on, I spoke to Richmond Kwame Frimpong, who is a financial advisory consultant, and I asked him what has led to the crisis that is unfolding in Ghana. Take a look.
All the difficulty in terms of the high cost of living we're experiencing is just the effect of the gaps that the fundamental economic structure is exposing. And so, given COVID, post COVID, those fundamental structures in the economy were challenged. So, number one, if you look at our debt to GDP, that is a main construct. It is now giving very little room for the government to use the generated revenue to do the things that matter, because almost 90% of total revenue is used to pay just the interests on debts. And the debt construct is more dollar denominated. So when it happens like that, there is pass-through effect on currency depreciation, and that leads straight into fuel cost, and that leads straight into inflation for the 16th time consecutively, hitting just a little under 40%.
So many African countries are facing this debt crisis. Ghana is not the only one. And they are turning to IMF and other institutions for a bailout. Do you think this will cause more issues?
Yes and no. I mean, every African country at the moment, about 22 out of the 44 plus are considered as high debt distressed. Now, none of these 22 have any option but to turn to the IMF. Why? Because when it becomes straining to become sustainable in terms of your debt to GDP, then the capital markets that gives you an option to borrow shuts down on you.
Other countries are considering rising taxation rates. What do you think about this, and what would it mean to the common man?
Rather than to increase tax for revenue increases, the recommendation would have been to broaden the tax net so that the same people that are being taxed are not burdened with additional taxes in the name of raising revenue. So I would not recommend increasing tax ratios and rates. I would rather recommend broadening the base of tax so that many more people can pay to achieve the same purpose of increasing revenue.
What next for Ghana?
Well, number one, Ghana should hurry up with the IMF program, because that is the number one way out. So they just have to speed up so that we can get to the staff level agreement, get the board to approve, and then they get access to the funding. And most importantly, to cure the currency depreciation, which has a significant effect on fuel prices, which passes through inflation and increases the prices of goods and services, which reduces the disposable income of everyday persons, making the economy difficult for them.